Hi, it's Clark, and I'm in the kitchen today. I want to talk to you about provisioning, preserving, and planning all the food we need for like the next couple of years. What we're going to talk about specifically today is my little contraption here that makes carbonated water out of carbon dioxide, and we're going to compare it to the commercial SodaStream, see how they're different. Provisioning a boat is very much about having enough food to eat, and it's also about having food you like to eat, but it's also about just having things you want, things that are comfortable. My wife Emily really likes carbonated water. Why we like to have this machine on board is it really saves a lot of space. This is 10-year supply of carbonated water in this little space. It's dirt cheap. Carbonating a bottle is like pennies. And we don't have to carry it. Can you imagine carrying all the water you wanted to drink back from the grocery store? I guess a lot of you do it, but just filter your own water and dress it up at home. On the boat, we can make a lot of electricity with the wind and the sun. We can turn that electricity through the watermaker into nice fresh water, just process in the ocean. We don't carry the fresh water for a year with us. We make it as we need. So we certainly wouldn't want to carry the carbonated water. We'll do another video later on about how the watermaker works. It's a pretty interesting piece of kit. That's way outside of the scope of today. Today we're going to talk about turning fresh water into carbonated water. A couple years ago I built this contraption, and we've had it on the boat in the Bahamas for the last 2 seasons. A lot of other boaters have had its product. It makes carbonated water and liked it and wanted to know about it. So we're putting this video together to tell you how to build one of these yourself. Now, if you're not on a boat, these things still can make sense. They're the cheapest way to carbonate your own water at home. It's actually pretty convenient. Also, if you got all this and you decided later on you either wanted to make beer or maybe have an old fridge become a beer cooler, this is just what you need to propel the beer with. It'll never go flat. It's just kind of handy kit to have around. Anyway, let me go into how it works. What we have here is a 10-pound carbon dioxide cylinder. It's full of liquid carbon dioxide. So there's a lot of gas in here. 10 pounds of gas. Think of how light gas is. You can get these in all different sizes. I chose 10 pounds. We've done the little experiment being out for a while, and we found that we go through about 1 pound a season. So this is like 8 or 10 years worth of carbon dioxide. You can buy one of these tanks brand new on Amazon or whatever, and it's not a bad deal, but before you do, go to where you're going to get your gas. If you're like me and you're not in a big city, there'll be a place to get welding gases. They're the same guys that's going to sell carbon dioxide. And trust me, the restaurants are all filling up their carbon dioxide for their soda machines, so you're going to have a source. But usually the smaller sources, they just trade out bottles. So buying like the bottle of your dreams that's all shiny and new, you're going to end up with something that they had on the shelf. So check that out first. And likely it's just going to be better off going there and buying one of their bottles. Added to that, this regulator, and this is kind of like a welding regulator, I guess. It takes the 1,000 or so PSI that's in the tank and brings it down to whatever you set it for. But I set it for about 50, 60 PSI. And I came out here, I switched down to what's called a 1/4-inch flare fitting, and I used refrigeration sensing hose because it's a really good hose and it's quite cheap. 1/4-inch flare at this end, and this is called a ball valve. These are industry standard. If you look at a Coca-Cola machine, you'll see that these are on the end of it. And all this stuff's really available. This was the trick. This was the part that made it worth doing. I found this, and I've had to add fiberglass to it because it broke while we were out sailing. But this thing screws and seals onto a regular soda bottle, and then the ball valve goes on top. And I can't say I like this, but what I really like, and what we just found for basically the same price, is this gear. Now this is all stainless steel. It screws together so nicely. It's never gonna fail. And it comes with a little tube and an air stone, actually sithered metal of some kind, but it makes the carbon dioxide become bubbles, and that'll be apparent in just a bit. But let me jump right into making some carbonated water. You want cold water, chill it first because the process dissolves better in cold water. Anyway, just pop this off, put that in there, and squeeze out the extra air so that the environment in there is all carbon dioxide. It just goes a little faster that way. Now, forgot to turn it on. Okay, now we put the little ball valve on, ball lock valve I think they're called, and I'm going to open up my valve here. And you see that it's a lot of gas going into there. It's bubbling up, and as it's bubbling up, it's dissolving into the water, and then there's room for more. And this system just keeps it at, I guess I got it set for like 45 psi right now. And it just keeps making bubbles and putting them in the water. If you just set that aside in a half hour or so, the bubbles would stop, it would hit an equilibrium, and it'd be done. But who wants to wait a half hour? You can make this go faster by shaking it. It's just making more surface area. And you can see as I shake it, the bubbler just goes crazy. This will make carbonated water, and it'll actually make pretty potent carbonated water. You'll certainly taste it if you go up to 45-50 psi. You can always stop early, or you can lower the pressure if you don't like the level of bubbliness. This obviously would work in any American or any worldwide soda bottle. This is a 1 liter. The chemistry going on here is actually pretty straightforward. When carbon dioxide dissolves in water, it makes something called carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is sour, like most acids are, and it's a very pleasant form of sour. So we like it in our soda pops. It also, when you lower the pressure, leaves solution and becomes all those little bubbles. And we like that too. So anyway, that's the way to do that. Now, you could run this thing with just water. That's how we tend to do it. You could put anything in this bottle first. You could put fruit juice in it if you wanted to. You could turn wine into champagne with this machine. You could make a flat beer not flat anymore. If you did anything with a sugar in it, I think I wouldn't use the little air stone because I don't know how you'd clean it. But otherwise, and it works fine, you just have to shake it if you don't use the air stone. Carbonated water. We often put this stuff in. It's got all different flavors. This one's peach. And it takes a crazy small amount to have a strong effect. That's it. It's now flavored with peach. It's kind of flavor that you kind of smell more than you taste, and of course there's no calories. Wow. Anyway, quite refreshing. On the boat, when we're out a ways, we bring this over if we're invited over for drinks or something. And it's just something that no one else has a source for, so it's kind of novel. You have some bubbly water, maybe this and a little bit of scotch. Let's compare it to what's available commercially. A lot of people are kind of making their own seltzer water now, and they're doing it with this thing, a SodaStream. Well, here's a SodaStream. Let's look inside. It has a carbon dioxide cylinder as well, but tiny and crazy expensive. The carbon dioxide costs about $30 a pound, and depending on what size cylinder you buy it at, this is like $1 or $2 a pound. So this is actually kind of crazy expensive. That's a cylinder you're not going to get refilled anywhere outside the US. You have to use their bottles. They're very non-standard sized bottles. Nothing else fits. If you break your bottle or take your bottle out to drink it someplace and lose it, this whole thing becomes useless. And of course ours, you have to go out and buy Coca-Cola or something. The SodaStream deal altogether, a starter kit, it's about, I don't know, 70, 80 bucks. More bottles are $10 or $15 a piece. The refills are kind of crazy expensive, and that gets you going. If you couldn't find any of these parts and you bought all of this at like Amazon prices, this is like $150. I know that's more, but first off, that's 10 years supply of carbon dioxide. You'd be all set up if you ever wanted to do anything else with carbon dioxide for like the rest of your life. For example, I pop this off and I put a carbon dioxide atmosphere in our flour so that our wheat flour doesn't tend to go bad. There's no oxygen, so it can't oxidize, and bugs can't grow in it because, you know, again, no oxygen. You could use this thing to dispense beer with, obviously dispense soda pops with. It's just kind of a handy tool to have that you really don't know you need until you get one and say, geez, I wish I had some carbon dioxide. With the SodaStream, you're also stuck with this size bottle. We can make 2 liters if we want to in one shot. Well, this is our device. It could potentially save you some money and some hassle and give you a special little treat that you can't get otherwise. If you want to build one yourself, we'll put links to all the bits of it down below in the description. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button. It really does help us. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I'm sure to see them, and I'll answer whatever I possibly can. If you subscribe, we'd really appreciate that, and we've got a lot more provisioning type videos coming up. Emily's going to be doing stuffing on canning meats and drying mushrooms and just all kinds of stuff to get our 1 ton of food together that we put on the boat to go off. There's going to be a playlist over here, and as we fill it up, it'll have more good stuff in it. Have a nice day.